Hey everybody, what's up? Out here in the shop, got the Aftermarket Assassins locked and loaded kit. I'm going to do a quick install video of the Aftermarket Assassins exhaust, slip-on exhaust. Super straightforward, easy for those of you guys who have done this install. It's super easy. I've already taken off the heat shield, 4 bolts, Torx 30. Bit, 4 bolts, comes right off, and then there's the 4 brackets that hold the heat shield or the plastic shield on. That's 10 millimeter. You take those off. I've already got those off. So you can see we got a bare exhaust sitting there. Other than that, there's a few springs, 3 13 millimeter bolts, and the exhaust comes off, and then it's basically reverse order of putting the new one on. I'm gonna throw this thing on here real quick and give you guys a sound clip, and hopefully this thing sounds as awesome as it looks. Stay tuned. Alright guys, to take this exhaust off, we got 3 13 millimeter bolts or nuts here on these studs to tie the muffler assembly to the mid pipe. We're going to reuse the mid pipe and from the turbo back to here. On the turbo RZRs, there's not much restriction on the factory header, so I really didn't see a reason to run a full exhaust. Plus, the slip-on exhaust is quite a bit cheaper, and you get about the same performance. Really, with a full system, you're just getting a cleaner look, you know. But anyway, we're gonna get a 13 millimeter wrench and start tearing this thing off. You'll also need either a spring puller or a pair of good pliers. You got a spring on top, and you got a spring on the far side over here that you got to pull off, and then the whole muffler assembly will pull right out. We'll get that going. Alright guys, one note, you don't want to try to break these nuts loose when the exhaust is hot, because I have had experience on my last RZR. I installed my exhaust after the RZR was warm. I did a sound clip on the stock exhaust versus the Trinity that I had on my other RZR, and I ended up galding one of the studs up on the head pipe. I just basically had to run the threads with a tap or a die, and it was fine, but I never really was able to get it as tight as it should have been originally. So it'd be better to do this when everything is nice and cool, so you don't take a chance of stripping or galding one of these nuts or studs up. That's just a little helpful hint. All right, so what we're going to do is going to take this exhaust off and put the new one on. Just going to show you in real time how easy it is to break this thing loose. Like I said, when it's nice and cool, this thing's come right off, no issues, no stripping. Now the head pipe will want to fall down. it's not really supported by anything but the muffler, so just be aware of that. Alright, got those 3 nuts off. I'm going to grab a pair of pliers for the springs. Maybe the toolkit ones will work. If not, I got others. Yeah, I better get some better ones. You could use vice grips, but I chose just a pair of regular, I call them lineman pliers. They got a good grip. Pull it. There's one loose. There's the other. Springs. That one it's easier to get off once it's off. But anyway, and the exhaust just pulls right out. You'll have an exhaust gasket on the header, between the header and the muffler. Just be aware, try not to damage it. There it is. Leave it on there, you'll reuse that with your new exhaust. Alright, this thing weighs a solid 30 pounds, 25 pounds. It's definitely a heavy piece. Got a lot of packing in it, a lot of restriction. These turbos have heat issues, overheating, and turbos getting hot. Not as much these newer ones as the older ones, but a lot of it is caused from the factory exhaust. There's so much restriction inside this muffler. It just holds so much heat from, behind this muffler. The turbos get hot. With an aftermarket exhaust, whether it be Aftermarket Assassins or any other brand, it'll definitely make your turbos and exhaust system run a ton cooler. Now turbo vehicles still run hot by all means, but it'll be a lot better. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to do a reverse of what we just did and put the new Aftermarket Assassins unit on. Alright, here's your Aftermarket Assassins exhaust. Quite a bit lighter. Looks like a mostly aluminum or stainless steel construction. Very good quality welds. Super lightweight. It's got a place on the bottom over here for your spring. And a couple indentions for where it sits. So anyway, same exact step, just in reverse. Pull this spring out that I didn't get out originally. That's not good. I'm going to have to take this heat shield off to get this spring out. I put it in. Instead of hooking it around, but that's just 4 2mm bolts. Take it off temporarily to get the spring out. We don't need that vibrating and causing all bracket. Now we can kind of pull this down. Be careful, this heat shield stuff's sharp. Probably be a good idea for me to be wearing gloves, but this heat shield's definitely sharp. I'm going to reach up behind it and get this spring out. There's your spring. Now it decides to come out. Never fails. You can't get it out, but then it falls out whenever you're trying to work on something. Alright, put the heat shield back in. Let's just line everything back up. Get a couple bolts started. These Use the same bolts. Self-tappers, 10mm self-tappers. Seems like Polaris relies a lot on self-tapping hardware. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Eventually you think the threads will wear out. I've had that issue on skid plates before. Take it on and off a few times and the threads wear out and you got to re-tap the holes. I don't have any plans of taking this thing off again unless something major happens. So I'm just going to let it go where it needs to go. Snug them up. Make sure they're nice and snug. We don't want any vibrations. So now we can put our exhaust on. Slide it in and do this side. You got a couple little rubber pads that have holes in them. And you got these little shafts on the back of this exhaust that line up with those. That's how the exhaust fits in. Kind of pick your header up, line everything up, and just push it right in. And there you have it. Exhaust is sitting in place. Sweet. All right. Basically just take your 3 13mm nuts. Make sure double check, make sure your exhaust gasket's in there. You don't want any exhaust leaks. You have hot spots and whatnot, but make sure that's in there. And then just tighten them back down. Don't get too crazy with them, just good and snug. Make sure it's good and tight. Nuts are kind of long-winded. Alright, I think we're good and snug, check them all. All we like now is the springs. I don't know if see here if we can get this stretched out long enough to I like the way that's looking. There we go. Nice and tight. That's what we like it. Nice, good tight fit. Push that all back. Same thing on the other side. There's a tab on the new exhaust for the spring. Get it all lined up. Put the spring on. Get a little better angle here. Get a little better angle here. Pull straight on the spring so we don't have any mishaps. Just make sure you got a good grip. Line everything up, just like so. There it is. All right, sweet. Got our exhaust installed, and probably I want to say less than 10 minutes. It's all buttoned up on there. It fits really nice and tight. I don't think this thing's going anywhere. Let's see how she sounds. All right, so we got everything hooked back up, had to hook the ECU back up, battery cables back up, so I've been welding on this thing. I've had the battery and the ECU disconnected when I'm welding, but I got everything hooked back up. Let's see what this thing sounds like. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but this thing sounds amazing. You probably can't get the full effect on camera. It's in my shop. Probably sounds a little bit louder since it's cold, but it's definitely louder than my Trinity was on my last turbo. Not by much, but it's got a really good tone. They do offer a cap for, I'm not sure which one, but basically it's like a quiet cap. You know, lowers the dBs a little bit, you know, if you don't want to listen to the loud exhaust. But I am overly stunned on how this thing sounds. Like I said, super easy install. Of course, any exhaust system on a RZR, unless you're doing a full system, slip-on exhaust is super easy install. Like I said, less than 10 minutes. Old exhaust off, new exhaust on. Like I said, it's highly recommended add-on. Keeps your turbo temps cooler, exhaust temps coolers, gets rid of all that restriction from the factory, and you get a cool sounding RZR. Like I said, so far this is the first part of the locked and loaded kit from Aftermarket Assassins that I've installed. Got a long way to go. Charge tubes, intake, clutch kit. This thing is going to be awesome. Can't wait to get it all done and ride. Like I said, you guys need to stay tuned. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can see all the updates. And I'll keep you guys posted. Later.